It's good stuff, man.
Oh, welcome to the show, everybody. We have a new intro.
I love it. I love it.
I messed up on one of it. That one of those things was too short. The questions.
You had a picture of my face on something. I think I was messed up. You should.
You know, I thought it was the best picture I could find of you, to be honest.
It's true. It's true. I do look prettier than normal.
Well, everybody, welcome. Welcome to Matt. Matt, you're the innkeeper.
Thank you. Thank you.
I thought I'd remind you.
Yeah.
So yeah, sorry for the late start, folks, but Matt was causing all kinds of issues behind the scenes. I had to calm him down. He's sometimes when you have guests on, they're high maintenance, and this is one of those times. So
I am very high maintenance. I mean, although we did start before 7 after, so even on Dusty Wheel time, you were doing well.
Was I? Well, I don't have a tailor here, so
it's true.
Anyways, so the agenda, guys, I want to lay out the really, really big agenda tonight. We are going to talk about all of the stuff that happened on Friday. Like, it's crazy because Matt and I were talking before we came on here, and there was legitimately like, it felt like way too much to get to. Like,
too much Wheel of Time out there. Too much Amazon Prime. Slow it down. That's what I'm saying.
For sure.
Yeah.
For sure. Any case, all right, so you streamed for like how long on this subject? Like on all of this stuff?
Well, I mean, if you take out some of the dead time where people had to stare at the three of us, probably like 4 hours. Something like that. I don't know, 3.5, 4 hours.
You are counting the part where we were all like not talking and just staring at the
screen?
Well,
with the not talking part, there was like 4.5 or something, you know.
Did you get any comments like what are they staring at?
There was one dude who was like, where are the live reactions? And I was like, look, when you're planning a live stream, you're not basing your titling on what actually happens. You're basing it on what you hope to happen.
Well, and it was like I was too enthralled in it to like actually react to it.
No. Can we explain this really quick? Like, no. Don't even. No, you can't even like. No. So Nae'Blis, I'm like, hey, dude, come on for a live reaction show. This will be fun. We'll be all reacting. And then what happens, everybody? Like literally like 3 minutes before, Nae'Blis is like, oh, by the way, I don't have earphones, so I can't watch it and react at the same time. So I'm going to be really quiet. which is great when your guests are like, by the way, I totally come totally unprepared. And the thing that you're promising people that they complain about in the comments afterwards, that's what's about to happen.
Okay, corrections here. First and foremost, I have headphones. They just happen to not work on the computer I'm using to stream with you. So
yes, that was a problem.
That was a problem. Two, I did comment. I just paused and went back and forth. I was a trooper. I made it happen.
That was true.
You're welcome to not have me on your show anymore. I'll just say
that. Taking it personally now.
Anyways, it is really exciting, though. I mean, I was talking about this, like, my entire weekend, and this is kind of a good way to blow your entire weekend, but, like,
yeah,
I still don't even have my full reaction video done being editing, because those take, like, a long time. But it's like, when this stuff comes out, I have no idea what I'm going to do during the show other than quit my job to make these videos full time, because, like, the entire weekend goes into these things. Like,
but by the way, can we poll the audience on how many people would like me to post Nae'Blis's reactions from the video? I need to be like Nae'Blis's live reactions after you post your like reactions to it. I'll be like Nae'Blis's real reactions. Just be like really quiet.
You could do? You could post a reaction video to my reactions.
I should. Yeah.
Like,
this is what Nae'Blis is thinking. Oh, that's what I should do. What was Nae'Blis thinking? And you just have you.
That's a dangerous place to go. That's a dangerous place to go. Well, so okay. I guess there's so many different places to start. I know we answered some of these questions on your live stream. I think we can go a little further into them. I've had some more time to think on some of this too. I don't want to talk too much about like the posters and things like that, because I feel like that's been talked to death. But let's talk about the song for a minute. I think we can start there.
Yeah.
Like now, since that live stream, we've actually gotten a translation, if you will, right? We've gotten the Old Tongue released, a literal translation of the Old Tongue, or as best as people can do. What have you thought about that? Like what was your? Did you like the song in the first place?
So in just general reaction to the song, I don't have I don't have any skin in the game of like the song doesn't really appeal to me from like my preferences for music. It was just a fun song. It was like, this is something unexpected. So that hit that kind of mark for me of like, cool, not something I'm used to listening to. They used the Old Tongue, which I was like, sweet. Okay. So great. It wasn't just like a song in English or something like that. You know, it was something like basically very Wheel of Time-ish. I think Watt Series mentioned this. Watt Series thought they might have used some words that were not, I haven't verified it, but tweeted like they used some words that were not in the list of Old Tongue words or something. Like, in other words, maybe they're innovating on the Old Tongue. So this suggests people that are like, yeah, let's do something really fun and interesting for the fans. Like, otherwise, why innovate on the Old Tongue if you're not going to use it in kind of fun, innovative ways with the fans? And then let's give it to a composer and try to come up with something really interesting. Yeah, I thought it was compelling. It's fun to listen to. It has an interesting beat, and the message underneath it is, it seems obviously very focused on, the White Tower and the Amerlin, and so that's again part of the focus of this season. Seems to be very much from what we've seen. It felt like it worked within the themes of their season one. So yeah, overall, I was like, yeah, this is a fun song. I think I mentioned it like the first time or after I listened to it, I was like, damn, it made it more real. I know it sounds weird. We have teaser trailer, but the song made it feel more real than the teaser trailer did in ways, or added to that feeling. I don't know.
Real quick, Nerdy Guns, to answer the question, I'm speaking for Matt right now. We will do our best to keep it. I think we're going to be talking mostly about the show, so I would say you're going to be safe if you're through Fires of Heaven, because something I'll bring up I think is going to have to do with Fires of Heaven. So let's go there. Anything Fires in Heaven and before, you're good. After that, you might be spoiled. So, or wait, the other way.
I'll try to, we'll keep it there. There's no real need to go that far.
But what I was going to answer your question, or to, I guess, expound upon what you said, I had mixed feelings on the song. I actually really liked the song, but I had trouble, I think, placing it in the show. Does that make sense? Like, it certainly isn't a score as though it's like something that'll be playing in the background.
Sure. Right.
Or at least with the vocals, I doubt it.
Yeah.
If anything, it could be like a montage shot, which I really hate. So I'm hoping they're not doing that. I think it best fits as like an end credits song. But what I do love about it, I mean, I love the composing, and I had read somewhere, and again, I am not a music expert by any stretch. But I had read that it is based on like Polish folk music, and there was some interesting, like, it's a very different mix, but it was done deliberately. I know this. I know that the composer is amazing. He's a protege of Hans Zimmer, which says a lot. He's won like every award in the world already himself. So I'm not worried that we're going to get bad music at all. And in fact, I think the more and more I listen to that song, the more and more I like it.
Yeah.
But I do struggle to figure, like, where does this fit into the show necessarily, if that makes sense.
Yeah. And this, people are pointing this out. Like, they were talking about how Lauren has been pretty interactive. They gave us the words, the lyrics to the song in the old tongue, and he's replied to some people. Like, one guy was just like, "This sucks," basically, and basically he was like, he needs to try harder, or he like wrote something like, "I wouldn't count on it," on Twitter. Like, in the end of the day, he's confident with his skills. They gave us a really compelling song that maybe everyone doesn't like, but it's, again, something really unique, in my opinion,
right.
From what I at least have heard. Maybe other people will say, no, this isn't that unique. I don't know, and that's what I wanted. I guess I want something that doesn't sound like Game of Thrones. I want something that doesn't sound like other fantasy, and also doesn't sound like medieval fantasy. I want something that just feels completely like taken again from our future and our past. Like, I want it to feel other. And so it sounded more other to me than I probably could have hoped. And that's what that kind of gave me some hope on it. Whether or not everyone loves the song, I
totally agree. I mean, it is different. It's very unique. So I'm interested. I'm really excited to hear more music. It's been one of the things, like, I'm definitely not a music person in the sense that I can create music. But I do have, like, some of you know this about me, some of you don't, but like, I'm a very amateur movie critic and TV critic. So like, I've done write-ups and I've done videos on the subject before. That doesn't make me an expert by any stretch, but I do pay attention to movie scores and things like that. I tend to think that they actually make TV shows or movies a lot of times. I mean, so it, like I said, I always struggle to see like where they fit. I look forward to the music. Like, one of the things, and not to compare to Game of Thrones again, but one of the things that I think made Game of Thrones very distinctive was how good that music was.
And what's funny, so for me, I wasn't a huge Game of Thrones fan, as in I watched the show, but the thing that stands out to me is their intro music. I can hear that in my head. That's it. There's no other song. And I don't know if it's because maybe I just never listened to their soundtrack, or like, that is the song that I can hear. And so if the Wheel of Time has something that compelling to intro them, that's what I'm hoping for, right? I want a compelling thing that I will remember. I don't think this is going to be a compelling intro song. I don't think that was the point.
I don't, and it's not. I mean, he said it wasn't. So
yeah.
So I mean, clear to anybody, it is not an intro song.
An end credit song sounds great, or just like part of a soundtrack. And some of these are kind of things that are going to sample in maybe some of the sounds that we hear in the show, and some of these will be samples from that. But this is just part of an overall soundtrack for the show, just showing kind of the range of what they're trying to do. Like, that's where I see it. Because like you said, it doesn't fit, and it doesn't seem like they're trying to fit it as an intro, or necessarily like, I hope, yes, this isn't a song I'm hoping I hear while they're like riding up a hill or something like that, like, that wasn't what I was hoping for.
Well, and I hope we don't even hear it. Like, I've heard some people throw out there that it might be the Amerlin's theme or something like that. And while it might be about the Amerlin, if you look at the lyrics, I'm certainly hoping Swan Sanche doesn't pop on the screen and the song starts playing. Like, that's not what I want.
You don't want the Bridgerton vibe. Doesn't they have kind of like that thing going on? I don't know if you've seen that, but yes, you don't want that kind of like modern, like entry where everyone has their own music. Yeah.
Well, let's shift. You and I did talk a lot about the panel. I want to quickly hit on the panel, and then we'll get to the clip because that's what we didn't talk a lot about.
Yeah.
But on the panel, who stood out to you? Like, who do you think, if you had to pick like two winners, not that they were competing, but like, who was it that you thought, man, they stood out to me with what they talked about or what they brought to that panel?
Ooh, that's really tough because the first part of the panel was so dominated by Rafe and Rosamund. But as soon as we got to the four, the Emmons Field four in this case, I thought all of them stood out for different reasons. Obviously, fans we're all going to say Yosha because, right? He held up the book, right? Like, there's certain things you can do for us book fans. Are gonna be like, yes, he's one of us, So he held up the book and was like, "Oh yeah, this is cool. Tell us more." And so talking about his journey, I mean, all the stuff. Everyone said this so many times, like Mount Everest comment, and where he is from. Yosha stood out because he had really, really personal stories that I think personally connected really well with fans. But all of them, Madeline was just like, obviously seems like kind of a jokester. Like, there seems like there's a really big humor streak in her. Marcus, same thing, but Marcus also kind of, I mean, his dance stood out really. Like, I'm not even trying to mimic it. Like, I want to, my brain wants me to try to mimic his dance. I'm not going to do it because someone will record this and then post it and I'll feel like an idiot. But yeah, like when he danced, I remember saying that's going to become an instant, meme among fans. And it was already on Twitter like an hour or two later. So yeah, I think they all, I think, stuck out. But Yosha, if I had to pick one of the four, just again, sheer, his answers to those questions about reading the books was always going to hit a chord with us as fans.
So he stood out to me, and I think he won over a lot of fans. He's very serious, which I think people were like, I think he was a little nervous, but like his age definitely showed. I don't know how else to put that. Like, I thought he came across very innocent and just excited about reading the books. But the one that actually, I would say the two that stood out the most to me, I felt like Marcus did in one way, in the sense that for people that have not been exposed to Marcus a lot before, his tone and his general demeanor, I think, won people over, in the sense that it's like you can all of a sudden go, that's Perrin. Like, you just hear him talk and how soft spoken he is. And I got to put a wig on.
It's wig time. I don't have my wig ready, anybody. So,
this song reminds me of something out of the old Godzilla movies. Time to Awaken Mothra.
Yeah, I don't have. You'd have to donate $100 for me to put that pink wig on. That's just how it's going to happen.
$100. Well, you only wish you had a wig that was this beautiful.
Yeah. What's the little strap hanging down? Yeah, that's kind of ruining the effect. Can you get rid of it? Thank you.
Can you even take me seriously? Like, I'm just.
I can, but not with that. When that's kind of hanging there, then this is better. Yeah.
Now it's better.
Yeah.
Well, the other one, though, that I think stood out to me, and for different reasons, I make no secret of the fact that Nynaeve is my favorite character. I thought Zoe killed it in that. And so the thing that she brought up that I thought was super profound, now, again, this is coming from a bald guy that's white, that is a guy, right? But like, when she talked about the fact that she got to keep her hair texture in her braid, that's really, really profound. And for those that are maybe not aware, there's been a trend in Hollywood over years forcing women of color to straighten their hair, to change their hair texture to sort of fit into what people viewed as mainstream.
Yeah.
And again, obviously I can't speak to that, but I know of people that can. And, I thought it was profound that not only she brought it up, but then also the fact that that was a deliberate choice they made. And I just thought that was profound, because I know there are some people that very much connect to that. And I think it's great in that sense. The other thing that she said, one of my fears after the trailer honestly, and I know this is going to sound weird. One of my fears after the trailer was that they portrayed her as sort of badass in the trailer, like whipping knives out and like, just kind of shoving people and seeming like she's an in charge lady. But my fear is that was what they were going to lean into and kind of get away from her insecurity, if you will, like kind of that drives Nynaeve's character. It's always this balance between insecurity and duty, right? And when she addressed the fact, she started talking about how she was going to play the character and how Nynaeve's insecurities drive her. That made me feel really good about the character.
Sure. Yeah.
Well, we got 2 comments here. Number 1, Jay Diggity, thank you. Think about how much a laugh track makes a difference for sitcoms. Love your content. Music does make a difference, and you're absolutely right. It just feels right. But Matt, you're never going to escape this.
Seriously?
Lumen, thank you. Mainly, yes, thank you for the money, but more importantly, thank you for forcing Matt to do this.
Man, why didn't I say 250 or something? Hold on, everybody.
Pause. Matt will be right back.
I'll be right back. That's right. The wig is within leaning distance.
Well, you got to keep it on hand. I mean,
oh my gosh.
Oh, thank you. We are going to get an Innkeeper wig here.
Should I think I should turn my video off and like get it prepped here.
Should I put you in timeout for a minute while you get
ready?
Put
me in time.
All right. Matt is in timeout while he gets prepared for you all. Thank you for doing that, though. This will be great. We got to love seeing the Innkeeper in a pink wig as he gets ready here. I'm watching him in the little backstage area, and this is great. You guys are going to love this. He's actually really good at putting on a wig. He's doing his makeup here, too. So we're going to give him a second here because he's doing his makeup at the same time. He's going to give Recapa a run for his money, or Recapa a run for her money here. We got to. Is this a Manfear wig? Like, is that what this is, or is this a different character? All right, I think we're good now. I think I think he's ready. Here we go.
This is good. Yeah.
Wow, Matt, you're beautiful. Has anybody ever told you that?
Is that better? Is there kind of like a side thing I should do here?
Yeah, I like the one-eyed look.
Yeah.
It's, I mean, it's great. And now, is this the Manfear wig? So, like, when you hit 50,000 subscribers, is this the Manfear wig?
Is this, though? I feel like we should ask the audience.
Is this the... I mean...
Yeah.
I don't feel like it's Manfear. I don't feel like Lanfear dies.
This is not it.
I just don't feel like it happens.
Yeah.
Now, let's try to have a serious conversation here while you're dressed this way. So anybody that tunes in is like, what the hell is going on right now?
Yeah. Let's do that.
So, okay.
How do people have long hair?
I did anything else from the panel that stood out to you? I mean, I know.
Good question. Yeah. So, I mean, obviously, Madeline Madden's discussion of Bella and the other horses and talking about, farting horses. Like I said, I like that she seems to just kind of have this down to earth, just wants to, she's, yeah. So yeah, I loved that aspect of it. Daniel Henney was really like his like, yeah. And then Rosman and we spoke about this, like, as in taking this role very seriously. Not that I would think that actors wouldn't take the role seriously. It's just that they have memories of coming into this and then talking about how much it meant to them and then how much they wanted to get it right. And, again, that's what there's right. If you take a cynical look at this, that's what they're supposed to say, right? Like, yes, we care about this. And so I get that whole cynicism about actors, but I just, then when they started talking about, I know book canon, if you will, I know people get annoyed by talking about this concept. And by the way, long hair and like in your mouth, like how do people deal with this crap? But anyway, I digress. So yeah, I loved how much they seem to, care to get it right. And it's something I think I've said since then. Yes, exactly. I've said this since then. I liked just how well they seem to speak the Wheel of Time. I really appreciate that.
I'm sorry, I can't. The way your hair is like, it's just like the middle of your face. You do. You look like I don't know if you remember. There was now obviously it's a different color hair, but like I think Dee Snider went in front of Congress or something and like testified. The lead singer from Twisted Sister in the 80s. Like I feel like that's you right now with the long hair.
I can see why people they'll play with their hair. Like it's really tough to not just kind of like you have hair like this and you just straighten it out. And
we've got some names here, so let's pick the best one. We've got Matt in the holograms because you do look like Jem.
I'm getting why you might have a tendency to kind of turn your head a little bit and you're kind of the Culture Club. I feel like Wheel of Jams.
The Wheel of Jams.
This is absurd. There's too much freaking hair.
Twisted Sister. I mean, hey.
But it is kind of thinning. I like that about the hair. It kind of gives me a nice.
Tarwin's Taint. My goodness.
Wow. Yeah, I do feel like I need to get a brush in this hair. This is and I can see why people do this kind of thing. You kind of want want that hair to kind of present well. What did this show just turn into?
What has this show ever turned into? I need to turn that down.
I feel like $100. I feel like I've worn this $100 worth.
I think you might have. You might be able to. Okay.
Yeah.
I like that Rosamund explained that the waving of her hands while channeling. I like how she explained it, and I cannot handle that right now. Okay, we're gonna pause on wigs until, of course, you tip again for more wigs. So
I can't do that whole how do I? Okay.
Woo. Now, anybody that wants to tip $100 again for Matt to put the wig back on, let me know.
Exactly. That's what I need to do. I need to
real quick
figure that out.
Oh, you turned your video off.
I need to brush my hair out, man.
Are you fixing your hair? Do you mean to put you in timeout again? Or
fixing my hair? I don't know. We'll see how well I fix.
Rachel said I'm going to bring this back up because I thought it was interesting. I love that Rosamund just flat out said, and it looks cool.
Yes.
Imagine if she just stood there and stared. Well, and I don't ever like magic in movies where it's like they stick their hand out and shoot lasers out of their fingers.
But I like that she had, again, an in-book rationale for an understanding of the concept of why they were doing it. Not just this looks, wanted to look a certain way. I'd like that there was, again, that she talked about the books. And that was the thing, not like, why did you do the performance? She cared that it was actually something that she could speak to from the Wheel of Time. Mm-hmm. Again, that's what else can you ask for from as a fan than somebody understands why something is done in the books versus they were just told to do it, and can speak to it.
I was actually surprised how many of them had read, to be frank. Where's Maynard Keenan? I don't know who Maynard Keenan is.
But now I have to look up Maynard Keenan.
Yeah, I feel like I need to know who that is. This is great.
Okay.
My wife just came in and asked.
Oh gosh. The things 250 next time, folks. 250.
No, I think you said 100. It's like 300,000.
Exactly.
But okay. Anything else from the panel for you that you thought that we haven't hit on?
So I remember everyone. So one of the things I did notice while we were doing our live reactions thing, this is what I realized. And for those of you that were there, I missed an opportunity to put everyone in chat up there. Next time we do one of those, if there's something like that, I'll make sure and get chat on the screen because you all were amazing and your comments were amazing. And I'm so bummed that everyone else couldn't see them. But I did see an outcry of fans that were like, show us everybody again. It's like, don't just show us Rafe on the screen. I want to see everybody. It was a really, you could see there was this final moment of fans actually getting a chance to connect with the actors. It felt like there was some connection there. And as soon as they would leave the screen, everybody in chat would be like, bring them back. Don't just give us one. We want everyone. And so I loved that aspect of this, which was we finally had an opportunity where the actors could speak about their roles, not into a news station somewhere, a really fan-oriented, fan-focused way. And I think everyone just loved that. And you can just tell how much fans are going to enjoy those moments. Yep. There's going to be lots of them, right? Coming up here in the future, in the next 3 months, hopefully there'll be many more of these opportunities where we can engage, even if it's just watching someone else ask questions. We can engage with them and see them talk about the book. So I liked that was it. Kind of suggested what the future was going to be, and it was fun to see what's coming.
So the last thing I want to hit on before we move on to talking about other stuff is how meta it kind of was that Yosha was talking about the books, which, number one, it's really cool to hear the guy playing Rand reading the story of Rand and talking about it as he, like, how cool would it be to be able to like have him on a podcast, like one of these first time reader podcasts, and listen to his, because he clearly had thoughts. He was all like, you could watch you could read these books over and over and still never know. And Rafe was like, yes.
Well, it was funny because I almost thought he was speaking to us all. And those the hardcore fan freaks that are sitting here today, right? Like there was a moment where I go, Yosha gets us. Not like in a kind of yeah, it's cool, fans are awesome, but it was like he was reading the books and he's like, I realized I could read these books again probably, and you could dig into these books for a long time and never get to the end. Like you can read them for eternity. Yeah. And almost like he was saying without saying, I get it. Like I get why everyone is anxious about the portrayal. Like how are you gonna handle this character? I get why people care so much about these books, why it's a part of their lives, and just and I can't wait till he gets to the end. And then, if the moment Yosha is like, I'm on my second read, will be the moment like all fandom is just like keels over and is like, Yosha's our favorite.
The funny thing is, I think he will. He kind of implied that he would. And now the coolest thing is, keep in mind, oh crap, I said spoilers for for Fires of Heaven. Okay. We're going to have a 1 minute spoiler section. I
was like, did I ruin something?
No, you didn't. I'm about to though.
Oh,
1 minute of earmuffs. If you
hold on, you're going to put up some put up something to.
You gotta make
just type it in the thing. You can type it. You have like this cool control thing. What's the name of the person that's here? Somebody just yell out the name of the person that's here in chat. Like we put their name in there. Like don't watch.
There we go. Okay, spoilers through the Gathering Storm. I will take this down when we are done with them. But how freaking cool was it? He's talking about how.
Are you going to give them a chance to hold on? Like, let them have a chance.
You got to remember, we're like 20 seconds ahead of the chat.
I know. I'm just messing with you. That's all.
You're just a jerk.
Yeah. Sometimes
you're not. But like, how cool was it that he's on Knife of Dreams, which is again the book before Rand ends up on Dragonmount. And he's like, he starts talking about, he's like, yeah, I just feel like I'm about to reach the top of the mountain. Or I think he said Mount Everest.
Right. Like, yeah. He's climbing. Yeah. He said, did I delete that? I'll be so bummed if I did. I think I did. Shoot. But yes, he's like, it's like climbing Mount Everest or something like that. And I was like, what did you just say? Like, did somebody tell you anything? Because yes. That moment was cool. It was cathartic as a fan, because you're just like, I know. just wait.
just wait, Yosha. I can't wait for him to say he's finished the books and just be like, gosh. Okay. Yeah. So we're done with spoilers.
Yes. Come back.
Yeah. By the way, I have to put this comment up because this is important.
What is it telling us, Jason?
Well, okay, so let's move on to the clip, because I think that is something we did not get a chance to talk much about. Now, I have some interesting thoughts. I guess I'll spill the beans here a little bit, but then in my breakdown video, you'll get to see what I'm talking about.
Okay.
But I'll start off by saying this. It took me a minute to catch this, but I do not believe that we are watching a continuous clip. I think this is very much edited down for us to be able to watch something in 2 minutes and see and basically see all of the characters. There are very obvious places, if you're looking for it, where they're cutting out chunks of time.
Yeah. Well, like I think of the ones I was telling you about. It's telling you to wear more wigs. Your turn. Get that wig on. That's good. So yes, there was one moment where I hadn't noticed. Again, there was so much news dropped that day. like we haven't even got to the casting news, and my brain was a little bit like, let's be honest, a little shocked, a little overtaken by other ideas that I didn't even notice that like Perrin was sitting with Tam at the table in one of those shots early on, and I was like, wait, he was what? Stuff like that. Yeah, there's like a shot at like the second, at 14 seconds in, which is so adorable, and I hadn't really paid attention to just how much pacing, like Rand was like major pacing, and that was cut. Like these are cut scenes. He was doing the major Rand angst, and like really well. Like the amount they're selling Egwene and Rand in this, in these teaser trailers, and this one, like the pictures, like they're getting this relationship. That's one thing I hoped for, and they're getting it done really well. Like honestly, I did not want to see some kind of 15-year-old puppy love kind of thing. Like I wanted to see something like really believable, emotional connection where the angst and the frustration of not knowing what the other person is thinking, and like how your life is, you're waiting to make a decision, but you want the other person to make a decision. You want to know what they're going to choose, and you can tell him he's like really anxious about this whole thing. They just sell it perfectly. And so, yeah, I love going back just really slow and watching that, just how well they've done that piece of it, which is totally cut out of the whole evening, it looks like, of interactions.
Well, you could definitely, as you're like watching it, to hit on what you're talking about, you see this whole, like, if I have to place the timing of this, so like I think that this happens probably halfway through the episode is my guess, because at this point, first of all, Egwene is wearing what she was wearing in the trailer when she walks into the inn, right? So this is probably after she's been shoved in the water and the colors and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And probably after Rand and her met and talked and established their relationship and all that kind of thing. And so what's interesting about that is Egwene was introduced by Nynaeve back into the inn early in the day when it was light outside, and it's now dark outside, and you have Yosha saying, "We haven't talked yet."
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so like, it's like she's avoiding him thing. He kind of senses something is wrong, but isn't quite sure. And she's probably like fighting this, my heart. And honestly, Madeline said this. Madeline said that she was, it was like balancing her heart and her duty or something like that. I think those are the words she used. So real quick here, Martin. Thank you, ma'am. How do you guys think the various Ajas are going to be portrayed in the show? Will they get across the nature of each Aja, particularly the blue and the red? You want to take that one, Matt?
Well, it seems, well, if you look at, for example, Moraine coming in, right? She's out finding, right, these individuals. So Moraine kind of holds the blue easily, I think, and is really kind of demonstrating their ethics in how she portrays herself and what we've seen in the trailer. The reds, that's kind of hard to know so far. We don't have a ton of that aspect, but we do get that little shot of Leandrin, if you will, with her cohorts, and they try to, I don't know if it's that low shot that they do of people, but like they did that kind of low shot up to them and gave them that kind of villainous feel, at least for me, when they did that. So and so it was like a subtle hint, and not that the reds are all villainous, but the idea of like this is going to be a problem, and so there's going to be some anxiety between these parties. And so I think there's the image where Moraine is walking, or the moment in teaser trailer where she's walking out of the room, and you have the whole greens focusing on her, but you have everybody kind of looking away. So but how will they do it? I think they will. I mean, I think they're settling in to do that. I think if you look at the clothing, that's their signal to all of us, like, we're taking this really seriously. Like, we're not just going to depend on the clothing. Right. Like, no, we get it. And they'll probably use it in a way of like, choose your Aja, right? Like, that's going to be, I would be surprised if they don't have like a lot of engagement with fans about that very nature, and they're not playing it up for fans to get really excited about it, as far as like embedding in the idea of their missions.
Well, the one thing, there is a subtle difference. They've mentioned this a couple times, that in the books, the blue Aja is portrayed as the Aja of causes. But Rafe has mentioned it a couple times in interviews, not as causes, but as justice, which obviously those could be interpreted to be somewhat similar, but I don't think they're quite the same. And so there is a little difference. So I wonder, like, when they say justice, does that make the Blue Aja like the police, or are they pursuing like social justice? Like, what is the? Does that make sense? What I'm asking?
I wonder if he'll play it up. I don't know. I don't know if he'll play that idea up or where he's exactly going with that. Because I would have thought that on the, obviously they're showing the battle Aja, if you will, pretty obviously. They're connecting the red Aja with Logain. I don't know. I didn't see that with Moraine as much portrayed yet. Who knows? That's going to be one to kind of wait and see, because I definitely think the causes aspect comes out in this. I don't know if even how you would read justice, and yet who knows?
Okay, Shane. Maybe I'm missing. I don't know Max Headroom.
You don't know Max Headroom?
I don't. Do you?
Yeah. You don't know Max Headroom? I feel old.
No idea who that is.
Look him up. I think you. But I get it. That makes me really old. I thought you were old, but clearly not.
Oh, okay. I know that. Yes. It took me. I just didn't know the name.
Yeah, that's okay.
That's kind of funny, actually. We got Marin glances at Egwene after Moraine picks her out. Do you think she might be afraid that Moraine is there to take her? That's an interesting thought.
Yeah. Well, I like that, the women's circle, and there might be some talk when people notice things. And so the idea that, a mother intuits something about the daughter here, and is really concerned. I love that idea.
Mm-hmm. That's interesting. What did you think about them knowing that Moraine was an Aes Sedai?
I'm totally. Oh man, I hate saying this because people are waiting. I think in some ways for me to be
Hot take.
what do I hate? I'm gonna hate stuff, right? Just accept that I'm gonna hate stuff, but it makes sense to get this over with. Like, there's an Aes Sedai there. Like, the beats just right. Like, yes, there's an Aes Sedai, and there, stuff's happening. You just don't have time to every subterfuge, in the world that exists in the books. Just can't film it all, And so to me, it was like, get it over with. Although, like you're saying, they are giving us a lot of Emond's Field. You look at the ceremony. We haven't talked. You see her presented. That's during the day. They're there in the night. Then Moraine's there. Then we see Moraine in other pictures. Then we see her during a daytime on the green.
Yeah.
So and from what we can tell, nothing there is destroyed, but we see destruction later on. So we're talking at least like two days.
Yeah, we're going to see at least 2 days. At least, which is not winter night. When Moraine is showing up, that's not winter night.
But that means 2 days of getting to know the village, not 2 days of who's this person and they showed up and I wonder when she's going to tell us who she is. Like, no, screw that. Like, give me some character building, village, world building. I want to get to know these people. And I think I said this before. I want to care that winter night happens.
Yeah.
And so it makes me happy that they didn't go with the, want to care that people are going to wonder who this person is, and then they're going to reveal it. Yay. No, I want to, if you're going to give me 10 minutes there, I want to come to love this place and care about these people in such a way that we'll want to come back. Not just I'm out.
I'll throw this out there. Because I think it's actually an oddity. We're all used to this as readers, but can you think of another place in the Wheel of Time books where somebody does not recognize a Great Serpent Ring?
Right. I mean, there might be.
I understand that Emond's Field is kind of backwater, but they're not like this desolate, isolated village like everybody thinks they are. Like, they have regular people coming and going in and out of this region. Tarrant Ferry is a fairly active village. Like, The idea that they would not know what the Aes Sedai ring looks like or what that symbol is, to me, is a little odd.
Yes.
Especially considering I really think that's the last place in the story that we ever don't have anybody recognize it.
Yeah.
Right.
Yep. And I
So
don't think you're gaining anything. Again, people that want this to be like backwater kids and a coming of age story for teenagers, you know, that have never seen any of the world ever. I just never read the books that way. Honestly, like Berlin is like not that far away. And it's like a major, like, look at the freaking story. It's a major trading town. Like, it's not, we're not talking like, it always just surprises me. It's like, yes, people don't go south necessarily that often, but everyone knows what's south, and there's trading up and down there. It's just, you know,
Two Rivers Tobacco is known in the Iowa Waste.
Yes,
like
exactly.
Okay, like
I just don't. It's not. This one isn't important to me. Everybody, it's important to some people. I get it. I'm not dissing other people. Stuff will be important to me. Them not recognizing a ring or recognizing a ring to me is just like, get on with the story.
Now, my big thing, and I've been saying this, I actually, so I think people, the problems, I liked the clip. Here's my problem with the clip, actually. I thought there was some very clunky dialogue, and I thought the editing was clunky when I first watched it. But in hindsight, I can see where they actually edited it. Like, because the way that clip reads, you have Lan walk in and then Nynaeve like spouts out, "Name yourself, stranger." Like,
yeah,
it's a very odd, clunky dialogue if that's exactly how that played out. Okay.
Yeah.
There's also like, there's a lot of missing context. You have Perrin teleporting across the room from one shot to the next. Like,
actually, so I don't feel like that one's as dramatic. Like, I went back and just looked at it. I don't think it's
he's
that
on the
dramatic.
opposite side of he's in the opposite side of the tavern.
But he's not that far away. Like, he was at a table, he sees them looking at each other. The shot goes to Rand. He walks over because she turns away. And yeah, maybe
talking. He's in when they flash away from that scene. I just made this video. When they flash away from that, Perrin is talking to Tam, and then literally the next shot, Perrin is walking up. That is either bad editing, okay, which Uta Brezowitz directed that episode, and she's one of the best cinematographers in the world. I would be shocked if that's a scene, if that's a clip she put in. I think that was edited. There's a couple other places that'll lend that out.
It's certainly edited. It's certainly edited for sure. Like, this is not a straight, yeah.
What I think they were doing is they wanted to get a scene where all 5 of those characters had a role, and they had to fit it into a certain time frame for the panel. So they edited that scene down so that it would show us. I think that's exactly what happened there. It was an edited cut.
Yeah, I would agree with that. There's definitely some seconds missing there for sure.
There could be more than that. I mean, and you'll notice how conveniently Barney had just a quick shot and then nothing.
Sure.
And
now,
go ahead.
It's definitely not a single clip. You know, there's definitely some cuts there, and I guess the stranger dialogue to me was kind of, if there's, I guess I didn't think the whole thing was clunky. I didn't think a lot of the dialogue was clunky. I thought maybe that one line was clunky. Yeah, maybe that name yourself, stranger piece, but otherwise, like, the rest of the dialogue didn't strike me as clunky. Like, his discussion with Perrin and Rand, I thought was really good. The Merrin piece with Moraine, I thought was really good. I thought Moraine walking up to the hearth and kind of turning around, staring at the room, like, that was really powerful. Like, that was just, I thought that piece is just done really well. The way that people were looking at her, just like saying so much with some looks, just, yeah, I thought that piece was really good, I think, overall.
Well, I like that in that clip you see Senbui, you see what's her face, the second wisdom, why am I forgetting her name all of a sudden, Days Conger. She's in there, she's laughing with a beer. I love that you've got women in the Two Rivers definitely smoking that Two Rivers tobacco. Like, all of them have pipes, which I thought was cool.
Yeah.
Like, it was a a very lively tavern scene. But I thought like Rand was the oddity because Rand's standing across the room from his dad and his friends, staring at Egwene walking around serving tables.
Yeah.
That was just funny to me because it's like he's definitely brooding right now.
Yeah, it's a really good brooding scene. Well, and also Bran is in this one. I saw Watt series posted a picture that like in one of the clips where I was like, they think it's Bran, and I did see him elsewhere, so he's also there. They didn't like focus on him as much, but yeah, it's funny when you go so slow, you start to point out even more things that was impossible to see.
I'm going like frame by frame.
Oh yeah.
All right, I got a list of the cast up. Okay, who's that? Who's that? Who's that? Which is so crazy because then I start thinking about what are we going to do for the show? Oh my gosh, what are we going to do for the show? I'm not going to be able to go frame by frame for the show. It's just not going to happen. So, but I'll tell you the other thing that I think stands out to me is how the attention to detail in the scene. Like as I'm watching frame by frame, this is stuff you'll all miss. But the cups, the detail on the costumes, the glass on the walls, like there's little like centerpiece fixtures on the tables that are like that hold candles that are like, it's the attention to detail in designing the sets is so good. It honestly reminds me. So there's two shows that come to mind with that. One is Game of Thrones because they did a great job until they started leaving coffee cups on the table. That's when they got lazy. But the other one, and this was probably the first original like set design, spend all the money in the world, but Rome on HBO. I don't know if you ever saw Rome.
A little. I've seen like maybe an episode or two. Not.
They
like
did. They tried to basically rebuild Roman villas. I mean, the costuming was crazy. Now hold on. I have to stop and I got to say this because this is the opposite take of anybody else. Jonathan, I appreciate you watching, man, but I actually appreciate you thinking that I hate the show. I really do, because everybody else calls me a shill. So, like, I really am happy that somebody thinks that I might not like something. So, anyway, thank you,
yes.
I'm on the payroll for
man, I can't wait till people think I hate part of the show. That's what. By the way,
then when people
we know that moment because it'll be something having to do with Teleron or Mirror Worlds, or there'll be some Varen or Lanfear piece, and I'll be like, "Damn it, I hate this part." And then someone will make a comment.
They cut Lanfear.
Yeah, right.
Would you watch the show if they came out and said, "Guys, we've actually decided to go with 12 Forsaken. We've left Lanfear out"?
I mean, I would watch it. Then would I make fun of it? Yes. But I would definitely watch it. Yeah. Well, if you noticed, what I love about, and are we going to cut to like casting? Although, by the way, everyone go and take a look at Moraine going up to the hearth and tell me that fire, as she puts her hand out, the fire doesn't increase on both sides of that hearth. I think it does. Maybe I'm just seeing things.
Probably. Well, I know you did see the Seven Towers of Melkier in.
That's actually hold on. That's actually clear as compared to this. So
yeah, I saw like 2 pixel bumps. That must be a tower.
Yeah, I mean 7 of them. Okay, and then it having to do with the the blight and the battle at the end with the Dark One's forces, and it's not like Melkier plays a prominent role in the books or anything with land being there, or like why would they reference a tower? That's, I mean, yeah, you're right.
You know what your take on that reminds me of, Matt. So my mom, I've got a niece who's real young, and when she'll go like because she's like 8 months old. My mom will be like, "Oh, look, she just said take me for a walk." That's kind of what I hear when you talk about, "Oh, look at the little bumps here," and that's got to be clearly that. Like, you sound like my mom. Oh, clearly.
Can you show where's the comment? Is this? Oh yeah, Mistress Gill. Can you show Mistress Gill's last comment there? It's like 10 or 15 up. It says, "Is this like the person next to Loyal's horse again?" Innkeeper. Do you see that one?
I'm looking.
If you can't find it, it's okay.
Too many chats.
It's okay. Anyways, Mr. Skill said, "Is this like the person next to Loyal's horse again?" By the way, we don't know the answer to that, so maybe. Maybe. B. We'll find out.
I think that the Innkeeper likes to stir up controversy.
Look, I like news and rumors that appeal.
Yeah,
okay?
you do. Welcome.
Yeah.
Now, we will address this one, Sniffles. Why didn't we see Tom in the clip? And I will address this one. That's because Tom will not be in Emmons Field. We are going to be introduced to Tom probably in episode 3 or 4, just FYI. So that is a change that they have made. I don't necessarily disagree with that because I don't necessarily agree or disagree yet. So I'll say that. Like, I need to see how it plays out. But Tom really doesn't play a major function. The only thing that I think is going to be a little weird is that he doesn't meet Moraine. So I'm curious how that's going to happen. So we'll see.
Rajesh just said Innkeeper has great imploding skills, but they're not all home runs.
So true.
You're gonna make me cry for the first time on camera, Rajesh. Don't do that.
You mean I've never made you cry?
No. Maybe someday.
I mean, there are things I can do.
Does
this make you cry?
No.
No?
Mm-mm.
Means you're
Doesn't.
proud of it, I think. Let's talk about the casting, because I know that that's another thing that we can kind of talk about here.
Yes, let's
obviously
talk.
We got the confirmation of Kira Coveney playing Elaine. We've talked about that one in the past because that's been a rumor that's been around for a while. But what were your thoughts on that? Like,
well, it's one of those where we're like, cool, that's awesome. Now we can like officially welcome her and talk like we know it's true, and we don't have to like talk about if it's true. So it, what I like this though is they gave us something that we knew was true, but then they flipped it and they gave us something we didn't know for sure, but they gave us a hint. So that, I think that was in the end really smart of them, which was, we'll give you 2 more people, and here's people you can speculate about. That way, the 700 videos that content creators were going to make when they found out that other actors had been cast and announced this for us, now you can speculate about it. You know what I mean? So I like that they just got ahead on these 2 characters. Now you have to ask yourself, why get ahead on these particular 2 characters? And like most fans are saying, because they don't want us to randomly announce who Elida is. That's clear. That's that's
honestly, I agree.
I mean, I'm there with everybody. Like, yeah, give us the actress for Elida, because so many fans are waiting until she gets announced. That would be a huge break by John if like What Up found that out before anybody else did.
Well, that's a real worry. Now, there's 2 things, because I mean, we okay. So let's talk about the other 2 castings. We had Mira Sayal was announced, and then we had Natasha O'Keefe. I think universally, I haven't seen anybody present a compelling argument that Mira is not Varen yet. Like, because the preface for all this, in case you didn't see the panel, is Rafe said that these 2 actresses would be playing characters that were like absolutely pivotal for the rest. I think his words were like,
so, but this is important because the Wheel of Time actually afterwards quoted Rafe for this. So it's important that we address this particular quote. Yeah. Here's I'll throw this up in chat, Kira Coveney has been revealed as our Elaine Tricon. What characters do you think Natasha O'Keefe and Mira Sayal are playing? Hint, Rafe said they were 2 of the most important characters. I can't take people seriously that throw Elida into this group, but I get it.
I mean, okay, so let's speculate. I feel like Mira is Varen. I think that one, it feels right to me. I watch stuff of her. She feels like a Varen to me.
Sure.
And again, we're just speculating, but like that, she feels important enough that would make sense, and that's a fan favorite. Now, I think Natasha is a little bit more up in the air. I've heard 3 statements on this, and I talked about these in my video. I've heard 3 statements. I've heard Lanfear, I've heard Elida, and I've heard Fael. I think Fael is a no-go.
How dare you?
One, it's fine aging people up, but she's in her mid-30s and Fael is 16, and so it's just like, I don't feel like that, unless they're really aging her up, I don't feel like that makes a lot of sense. I also feel like plot-wise, it would be a little odd to throw Fael in this early.
It might be odd for the Wheel of Time on Prime to call Fael one of two of the most important characters in the Wheel of Time.
Correct. That would be another stretch. But that would be a loose. I mean, hey, that's subjective, I guess.
Yeah, sure.
Now, I think Elida and Lanfear make more sense. The Lanfear thing is backed by a little bit, and again, I won't repeat or say where the source is, but there is a rumor that there's been a Lanfear casting on set, right? That's been going around. Is that so? Supposedly, Lanfear's been on set. So I think this being hinted at sort of implies that she might be Lanfear.
By the way, I like M.R. Howley's theory. I don't know. It's a ways back there. This makes me laugh. M.R. Howley said that theory: Sarah Nakamura confirmed Lanfear casting when she hopped on Dusty Wheel to see how the Innkeeper would react.
That's funny.
I love that theory. That's hilarious.
That's funny. What camp do you fall in, Matt?
Definitely Elida.
You think
Definitely.
Elida?
Yeah. I mean, she's definitely. When I think about the Wheel of Time, I go totally important. That's what I mean, so much more important than Alviarin, for example. More important than, all the Forsaken.
Are you trying to say that you think Alviarin is a more important character than Elida? Is that
why would you think I was trying to say that? I mean, Elida is important like Gawain is important. And I think if you want to make the case that Gawain is one of the two most important characters of the Wheel of Time too, I think you can make a case.
The difference there is I think Elida is a little bit more likable than Gawain. But
sorry, I mean, I feel like I'm being very dismissive to everyone who believes Elida because I am.
Because I'm one of those people, and I will argue this with you to the death. I actually think it's Elida.
Oh my gosh!
I think it's Elida. I don't think it's Lanfear. That's what you're thinking.
Regardless if it's Lanfear, let's take even Lanfear off the table. I want you to make a realistic case right here live that Elida is one of the most important characters in the Wheel of Time. Go.
Okay, she overthrows the sitting Homerlin.
Other people put her in the place. Go.
But you don't know. You just gave away spoilers. You don't know that.
What I'm saying is that's my theory.
To people reading the books for the first time, I would say Elida is pretty damn important.
Hold on. Was that a spoiler? I can't fire. Is that like how far is that spoiler? I apologize.
That's pretty far in.
But is it far enough that it would have ruined it for the person watching?
Well, on Knife of Dreams, maybe not, but
I didn't think so. But
nevertheless, the point being here is that Elida plays Elida's the Amerlin.
Sure, of a split tower.
But,
yeah.
Okay. I guess Egwene isn't that important either. I guess Alviarin's more important than her too. So
I would make Egwene much more important than like those.
You know what
two.
It would be? Actually, Matt, I would take your word for it, and your opinion would be a lot more valid if you hadn't pointed out the bumps and called them towers and not So I feel like you're losing a little credibility.
This is true. This is true. This is why it's really difficult for people to ever believe my theories. Is while I'm logically dismissive of other people's theories, I still love to speculate on ridiculous things. So I get it. I'm not asking for belief there. The Dusty Wheel, you're out of line. It's so fun to be on other people's live streams, because I don't have to host your show or not be worried about what's happening, moving topics. I can just BS, which is fun.
Well, you have had to host my show before, so you got to be careful what you
Good
say
point.
there.
I can switch right into host mode if you want me to, really quick. But welcome back to the Dusty Wheel. I'm your host, Innkeeper, and this is Nae'Blis's live stream all about how terrible Elida is. And to prove that, he let me host the show for a moment. Oh, man. Good times.
Oh, totally. Okay. So you're in who do you think she is? Like, you didn't really answer. Well,
so I think she's, during our live stream, right, everyone said, well, not everyone, 63% of the people who voted thought Lanfear. So yeah, there's like wish fulfillment here, right? So my bias is to say Lanfear because Lanfear has to show up, right? In the second season, that would be kind of ridiculous. You can't save Lanfear
real quick
for a third
before you
season.
go on. What do you think Lanfear will look like?
Pulling it back.
Okay, I'm done now. Go ahead.
No, you gotta pull Lanfear in, and for them to give us 2 actors that would be actually big announcements, right? For other people to like scoop this announcement or something like that, right? So who's more fun to speculate about than Varen and Lanfear, right? Like, I don't think they're going to give us. I don't know. It's not that they can't be like 2 of the most important characters, Shiriam and Elida. Sure, there's lots of fans of all the characters, and they're all great and important. We don't want to be dismissive of any of those characters except for Gawain. So they're all important. But in the end of the day, like, who are 2 of the most important characters to the show? I can't like spoil things. So, but sure. Yes, I think those 2 would fit that bill. So yeah.
My pushback on Lanfear, and again, I initially thought Lanfear, to be clear. I initially agreed with that, but here's the couple reasons why I don't think so. Number one, they haven't released any of the other Forsaken yet, although Rafe has kind of hinted that they're there, but we might not know it. It would seem odd to me that Lanfear would be the first one they release, because Lanfear's whole shtick in the beginning is that she's pretending to be somebody else. Okay, so it'd be like, let's give that away, and then the fact that Lanfear is actually weaving the Mirror of Mists and doesn't actually look like Selene. So that would be a little odd to me that they would have picked out, somebody to play.
So how about Lady Suroth?
And that's possible. I could see that. But then again, would you say Suroth is more important than Elida?
I think they could be planning to make her more important than Elida.
Well, that's
what I mean by,
I thought you were about to say yes, and I was about to
no.
Say, oh
no, I guess what my point is with Suroth is, I think that you could make an argument that the Seanchan and the person leading the return, you have this eventually that you have this character that's going to be pivotal as far as the Seanchan are concerned, and maybe they've changed things up. Maybe they're maybe they're not giving us the way the Seanchan,
hot take,
they're both playing Lanfear. I love it. So yeah, I could I see a world where High Lady Suroth was, that we get rid of, why can't I remember the dude's name that they fight at the end of the Great Hunt? Turok. Yeah, they get rid of him and just give us Suroth.
Yeah.
So you could go down that route and actually kind of elevate her a bit. And yeah, and look at her picture there where we keep on, here's the hot side of her head, kind of up to one side. You can kind of get a feel for a shaved head there. So
I could
go there.
I can see it. I think that the odds are, like, look, we're introducing Elaine right now, and it just makes sense if they're going to introduce Elida, now is the time to do it. That you wouldn't introduce, like, you would either be cutting Elida entirely or you'd be introducing her now.
Yes, I think Elida has to be definitely in season 2 if you're going to go down the same route. I can't imagine them. We keep on cutting more than Rafe does, right, in our heads.
Yeah.
So the idea that they would not have the tower split is insane. Like, that's such a key thing.
Mm-hmm.
So they're going to do that. Having Elida there makes a lot of sense. Building her into season 2 does make a lot of sense. So it's not that I'm being dismissive of that aspect. It's when I think of the entirety of the Wheel of Time, the Second Age. When you think about everything that happened in the Second Age that gets us to the Third Age, you think about the entire Forsaken plot lines themselves. Lanfear's at the top of those plot lines and atop of the Wheel of Time plot. Like, it is a key figure in the Dragon's history. So that is also, to me, it's like, yes, they're two pivotal characters that you do have to include. And so yeah, it could be either one. She's just not on my list of like most important. I guess I've never put Elida on that list. I've always thought of Elida as a secondary character, honestly. Like, she's always kind of been on like the secondary list, and I don't know.
I think she ends up there, but I don't know that she is in the first couple books. I mean, she is a secondary character, but I'd say she's a high level secondary character.
Yeah, I just think that Lanfear's
a secondary character, though.
Oh, I don't think so at
She
all.
is. I mean, she's not a main character at the beginning, really, at any point in the story.
Maybe a primary villain, I guess, is where because
I mean,
all of the Wheel of Time villains are like treated like you don't get a lot of screen time for our
right.
villains, if you will. So most of
Unless
the
it's
villains.
Mogideon.
Yeah, that's true. She does. That's a good point. Mogideon, like maybe this is Mogideon.
Maybe.
Maybe
Yeah,
they're all
honestly, it
getting
could
Mogideon.
be.
Yeah. I'm totally cool. This is Mogideon. I don't really have skin in the game other than, of course, I love the character Lanfear. So anybody that they might get anywhere close, it could be anybody, right? They don't have to follow any particular look for Lanfear. Honestly, it could be anybody. So I'm always going to say Lanfear.
Well, I want to keep us. Usually we go an hour and we've gone over, but
yeah.
So I want to say a couple things here before we take off. Number one, thank you for joining. Make sure to like and subscribe. Number two, we will continue this conversation in the Discord after this. So if you are not a member of my Discord channel, click the link in the description of the video. It tells you how to join. If you're not already a Discord person, and then you can kind of chat with us for a little bit. Number three, so I feel like this is worthy of being addressed, and I know many of you have forgotten it, but I want to spark it again because that's what I do. So everybody remembers the little secret thing that was going around, right?
Oh, yes. Sorry, it took me a moment.
Yeah, I did think about this. The little secret thing on Twitter.
I did, yes.
I am not going to tell you what that is right now, but here's what I am going to do. It's not really a secret as much as it is a surprise. I think that was badly worded. But it is something that Matt and I are a part of, and
it is
I want to be very clear, 100% nothing to do with the show at all, period. Okay. But something I think you all will hopefully be very, very excited about, and you will find out within a week what we're talking about.
Nice.
So I am excited. We will be able finally to talk about what we're doing. So
yeah.
Yes. So that's that. Lots of surprises coming, lots of fun stuff. This is actually like a really cool. Here's the best part. I think a lot of people were expecting a trailer at the ComicCon panel, Matt.
Yeah.
We didn't get one. Now I'm happy we didn't, because my God, I mean, we wouldn't have had time to talk about anything. We barely have time to talk about what we got, let alone a trailer.
Right.
But now we still know there's a trailer coming, and there's limited time. Like, it's going to be probably within the next 3 weeks we get a huge trailer,
which is insane. Yeah. And I'm just like building up the capability to do another 12-hour live stream.
You're recovering still?
I'm just recovering. Yeah, I gotta build up that endurance. Yeah, I'm excited for Trailer Guide because he said it was a longer trailer.
Yeah.
And so I'm hopeful we're gonna fill in even more of some of these dialogue. I'm hoping we're getting more dialogue this time, more kind of interesting pieces we can kind of piece together. I'm really curious if they'll give us anything kind of that seems late season, or if they're still going to kind of hold that line.
I think they're holding it.
You know,
we have nothing, like no materials whatsoever from episode 7 and 8.
The seven towers of Melkier, but
yeah, it's oh, like 2 pixels on the screen. That's it. It's a tower. It's a tower.
Look, upon this foundation, Theoryland was built. Okay.
Well, yes, you're right though. I mean, we don't have a lot of time. There's a lot coming. This is my point on it. This is a very exciting time to be a Wheel of Time fan. And yes, it'll be the full trailer for those of you that are asking. Rafe had told that we got a teaser trailer before that was 2 minutes long. The full trailers are typically longer than that. Now, the full trailer will very likely be a little bit more plot focused, meaning they'll be explaining kind of what the show's about. Typically, teasers are like, boom, explosion, magic, cool, look like spectacle, that kind of thing. Yeah. Full-length trailers are typically follows this, but it'll probably be something a little bit more about why is Moraine there. They'll set up some type of tension about who needs to leave and why, and where are they going. Like, it'll be a little bit more plot stuff. I would imagine we will see White Cloaks
Mm.
I imagine
Yeah, that's
most of
true.
the
Yeah.
Tinkers.
I
That we
would
haven't
say
seen.
Tom. That was a huge thing that came out. Tom.
Yep.
Yep. Tinkers definitely. I think Tom, Tinkers, and White Cloaks makes a lot of sense for them. Because that's all stuff that we kind of expect just from the news we've been covering. By the way, insane that we've been doing this. You've been doing this a year longer at least than I have on YouTube, and it's finally down to like under 40 days away. So I'm freaking out a little bit.
6 years, or not 6 years. My gosh,
I was
6
like,
days from now is my 3-year anniversary on YouTube. My
congratulations, that's
first
awesome.
video came out on October 17th.
It's crazy, and now you're 40 days away from covering
the show, which is
show.
nuts. And imagine
insane.
if COVID hadn't happened, we would have already seen the show by now.
Yeah, that's weird, right? Yes, it was like whole nother year, right? So
yep, they added a year to it.
Yeah, it's insane.
Guys, we will be in the Discord afterwards. Thank you all for joining again.
Like and subscribe, everyone. Like and subscribe.
Yay. All right, guys. Thank you. Take care. Thank you to Matt for being on here.
See you all.